Kupina kuphi emakhaya amadolobheni aseTikoplus takhona lapho ubuyela khona SABC 1 sakumukela mbukeli, and welcome to this week's edition of Yilungelo Lakho. It's your ride. Mbukeli ke, as economic times get tougher, the last thing you want is to be stuck with high insurance premiums, isn't it? And that is why consumers are always hunting for lower or even affordable insurance premiums. But did you know that you've got some power to call the shots, yeah? Today, we'll be exploring ways in which you can exercise your bargaining strength. Mina ke ngisimphiwe ingqongwane kanti ke leli Yilungelo Lakho asingene endzabeni yethu namhla. Are you perhaps choking from your high insurance premiums? Well, apart from shopping around for affordable premiums, many consumers are often unaware of their negotiating power for lowered premiums. And to share with us how you can save yourself some change by bargaining for reduced premiums, we are now joined by financial education expert John Manyiges, from the South African Insurance Association. Sanibonani.
Sawubona mfowethu.
Zanele ndocela ngawe ke ukuthi indzaba mlonyeni ke lena njengoba abantu ke balahlekelwe umsebenzi, labanye ke they are going through financial difficulties, nemiholo seyinciphisiwe ngalendzaba ye COVID. So indzaba mlonyeni vele ukuthi how can we best or rather get the best value out of whatever product that we have purchased. So ikakhulukazi ke insurance ukuthi ngabe singayinciphisa kanjani ke ama premiums e-insurance.
Ngiyabonga Simphiwe ngethuba, and umbuzo omuhle lo oza nawo. I think before ngiqhubeke nokhuluma lo, ngifuna acknowledge ukuthi isikhathi sinzima kuwo wonke umuntu ngoba imisebenzi ilahlekile. So lokho kungenza ukuthi abantu bacabanga ukuthi the first thing to do maybe is to cancel umshwalense wakho ungabi nawo. Into yokuqala nje ebalekile ngomshwalense before uzu decide ukuthatha noma ungawuthathi ukuthi kumele uwenze isiqinisekiso ukuthi le ndawo lento oyi-insurayo, indlu yakho noma imoto yakho uyayinakekela. Ukunakekela into yakho is part of insurance. So asiqale lapho. Wenza sure ukuthi ama risk uyawehlisa. Ama risk for instance ukuthi ungashayisa noma indlu yakhe ingasha, zonke lezi zinto uzigade aqala. Mase uqedile lokho then ke uthola umshwalense. Ake sikhulume ngendlela mhlambe A1 noma ezi2 zokwehlisa umshwalense. Into yokuqala ebalekile ukuthi abalaleli bethu nababukeli bethu, into yokuqala kufanele bayenze ukuthi bakhulume nemshwalense yabo nama brokers abo. So uqala lapho kumele kube khona ubudlelwano la ufona khona usho khona ukuthi ngisenkingeni, ngicela ukuthi ningisize, ningi-guide ekutheni ngikwazi ukwehlisa ama premiums ami.
So how do I go about starting the conversation? Ngithini nje nangifika ku broker noma ke kumshwalense wami, yini ke tindzaba lekumele ukuthi ngitifake noma ke the issues that I should raise in order to negotiate for a lower premium?
Asiqale la Simphiwe. Into yokuqala is mhlambe ukuthi ucheck ipolicy yakho. Ibheke ipolicy yakho, ucheck ukuthi ucovered kangakanani. For instance, indlu yakho lento sibiza nge-sum insured, which is ukuthi mayisha ile mali abazokukhiphela yona, ukuthi i-right na incane noma inkulu. So asiqale lapho, mase siqedile ukucover i-sum insured, si-check ukuthi sinawo ama-excess angakanani. Ipolicy yakho kumele ukuthi uyi-understand. Ngoba uma ungayi-understand ipolicy yakho, what normally happens is uthola abantu bekufonela beku-offerisha low premiums, kodwa u-understand ama-needs akho, awu-understand ipolicy yakho nokuthi ucovered kanjani, ama-excess athini. So zonke lezo zinto kumele ukuthi uzi-understand. Once uzi-understand, then uye ku-insurer yakho ukuthi okay, ngiyabona ukuthi ningikhave kanje kodwa isimo sami sesishintshile, sengihlala ekhaya, angisatraveli kangako, noma mhlambe business mhlambe bowusebenzisa imoto for business travel angisayisebenzisa imoto for business travel anymore ngoba seyisekhaya sengisebenza online most of the time mhlambe le nto ingehlisa ama-premiums zonke lezi zinto zibalulekile so ekubalulekile ukuthi wena wazi number 1 ama-circumstances zakho number 2 ipolicy yakho once lento zoyi-2 then ku-easy ukuthi unegotiate or uze uye kwi-insurer noma kwi-broker uthi okay asikhulume izinto zishintshile.
Okay. John, let me also bring you into this conversation. Njengolicucuthu ke letetimali uthini ke umbono wakho ngendaba yokunciphisa ama-insurance premiums?
Ya lokho kuyakhonakala so namhlanje bengifuna ukufocusa kakhulu kulento ye-life cover ukuthi ungayenza kanjani ukuthi ungayikhanseli i-life cover yakho mara ukhona ukunciphisa i-premium yakho. So I've identified ukuthi kunama-areas mhlambe awu-8 la ungaqala khona ukunegotiate ne-company la u-insure khona impilo yakho. Ngifuna ukuqala ngaleyo kubhema. Abantu abaningi ngoba bayabhema mawuthatha i-life cover into eqala if they find ukuthi uyabhema iya-contribute ku-premium ukuthi ibe iphakama kancane ngoba uyi-risk ngoba umuntu obhemayo. Mara if kwenzeka ukuthi ngalesikhathi se-lockdown la vele besingadayiselwa ke ama-cigarette ukuthi mhlambe you realize ukuthi now so uyakhona ukuthi ungabhemi uyakhona ukubuyela kwi-insurance kwi-broker yakho uthi hey ngicela ningenzeni khona i-test esiyenzayo ukuchecka i-nicotine so mabayenza ba-verify lento ishoyo ukuthi awusabhemi i-premium ingayehla kakhulu just nje ngokubhema. So that's one area. The second area is area ye-education. Abantu abaningi abakho aware ukuthi your education level also nayo iya-contributor towards i-premium yakho ngoba ama-actuaries khona izinto abazibhekile based on i-research yabo ukuthi you know the higher the education you know it opens up doors for many things, so prospects of earning more, being able to afford the premium, and also your understanding in terms of the role of insurance in your life, but also meaning you know better access to quality healthcare. Those things they actually contribute towards the premium. So if maybe your qualification have improved over time, that is a second area where you can start negotiating. Maybe for now ngizoyaka kulezi zithi and then sizochubeka sibheke ezinye izinto.
Nangabe kuyenteka ukuthi sengimuvile ke la bengihlala khona uthola ukuthi it was a high risk area sengimuve to a low risk area noma ke indzawo lengathi safe noma ke iphephile lokho kunganginika ligunya lokuthi ke ngikhulume nemshwalense wami ukuthi anciphise ama premium.
Okay, maybe leyo mbuzo uzoba ngcono for from a short term point of view ngoba you know issues of ama risk, but from a life cover point of view ukuthi uhlalaphi, of course you know one might say well mhlambe ukuhlala emakhaya versus ukuhlala in the suburb is something else, but not so much really, because okusalayo you know it's about impilo yakho, your lifestyle, and you know how you take care of your health, and also all these other things that you've insured yourself against. Yeah.
Okay, zanele ke ngidawuthatha kuva umvo wakho ke ngalenzaba lena kepha ke emva kuleli khefu please hold your thoughts mbukeli asasisekeshelele ngasetitolo siyabuya khona nyalo. Sinamukele ke bekunene ke leli lungelo lakho tincingo tethu setivuliwe ukuthi nabe ungaba ingcenye ke yaleli hlelo. Call us in our studio line 011-714-6918 noma ke 011-714-6919. The numbers are on your screens right now. You can also email your thoughts to consumer@sabc.co.za. Ungaphinde usifole futhi ku Facebook. But before we continue, asasive ukuthi bathenge bathini ke ngalenzaba. Okay, my colleagues are still sorting out that, and yeah, we'll get to hear what the viewers and those on the streets, and in particular consumers, are saying about how you can actually bargain or negotiate lower insurance premiums. That is the gist of our conversations today. How, like, so many people did not have, rather did not know that they actually have the power to negotiate for a much lower insurance premium as a result of so many circumstances in your life that might have changed, or maybe John Manyige, financial financial education expert from Old Mutual. Uthi-ke nangabe-ke sowuthole ne-qualification side-ke sowufunza-funzile ungakhona-ke ukuya kumshwalense wakho ucele ukuthi ayinciphise i-premium yakho ngoba lokho ukuthi akuvulela-ke amathuba lamaningi ukuze uthi uthole umsebenzi longcono ukuze uthi ukhone kuphela ukuthola ne-affordable health care. So many issues that we'll be discussing today with regards to how you can negotiate for a lower insurance premium. Phindze sibe na Zanele ulapha-ke South African Insurance Association. Now Zanele, before we went to that ad break bese sikhuluma-ke ngendzaba yokuthi nangabe-ke u-insure umuti at a low or rather a high risk area wase-ke umuvela-ke endzawo lengathi iphephile i-safe which is a low risk. Can that insurance premium be lowered? John-ke uthi ngale ndzaba yena ukhulumele kulolu hlangothi le-short term insurance ukuthi ukhona nomehluko in terms of premiums between the short term and the longer term.
Asimpiwe ngicela uzama ukuthi ngiclarify le ndaba ye-risk profile. Ngiyazi ukuthi in the past behlale sizokuthi ukuthi kune high risk area ne low risk area. Into engiyazi yenzeka manje in the industry ukuthi i-risk profile ye asset yakho indlu noma imoto normally is about yona ngqo ukuthi unayo yini i-security endlini yakho unama burglar bars mhlambe une-alarm ne-fence nelokhuzane nesango into ezinjengalezo. Lezo zinto zibalulekile ukuthi wehlise i-risk ukuthi uma ukuthi uyaqekezelwa abantu ngeke bakwazi ukuthi bathathe yonke into endlini yakho. So lokho kubalulekile i-risk profile ukuthi i-security yendlu yakho i-security yemoto yakho unayo yini i-tracking device noma mhlambe une-alarm ne-immobilizer and things like that. Those zinto zibalulekile. Enye into ebalulekile endlini ukuthi indlu yakho ihlala bayibiza nge-vacancy ukuthi indlu yakho khona la ihlala empty khona isikhathi eside yini. Mhlambe alese mhlambe bosebenza kude ubuye endlini kanye ngenyanga or kanye ngesonto lokho kuzokhuphula i-risk yakho which means the premium yakho izokhuphuka. Kodwa uma uhlala ekhaya usukhona so ngabafonela batshela ukuthi sengihlala ekhaya manje mhlambe imoto yakho bedrive yingane ngoba ingane ade esikoleni manje izingane ezindala sezifundele emakhaya uma ingane yakho ingasayidrive because izingane unfortunately ba-attract higher premiums because of ukuthi abanayo i-experience yokudriver ne-risk nje ye-youth ikhona. So manje uma ukuthi ingane ayisadrive imoto ungabatshela ukuthi no imina kuphela endrive imoto noma imina nespouse sami kuphela and asihambe ngayo kakhulu lokho ngak-assist ukuthi wehlise i-premium.
Zanele njengoba sesihlobo nyalo kune igigaba letinengi kune sangcotfo kunabo zamcolo floods and hailstorms and this is a time which is particularly problematic for most insurance companies ngoba because of the high level of claims that they receive. Uthola ukuthi ke imoto seyishaya sangcotfo noma ke kuma floods imoto seyikhukhulekile ukuthi ke what is it that consumers can look out for in order to ensure ukuthi ke lama insurance companies they don't abashaya ijikane kona?
Engikwaziyo Simphiwe ukuthi if une claim esibiza ngokuthi illegitimate ne i-insurance industry ngeke ize iyinqabe lo claim ngeke bayibalekele. Into ebalekile kodwa ukuthi indlu yakho noma imoto yakho uyinakekele. Ngisho lokho mangiqala kanti into ebalekile about insurance into esibiza ngokuthi risk transfer. You are managing your risk ne une-risk you understand ukuthi kuzoba nozamcolo noma nesichotho noma ne-hail izokwenzeka kodwa kungabi kwi-roof yakho kube yini lena kube nembobo ezongenisa amanzi. So into ebalekile number 1 ukuthi usigadele into yakho wenze sure ukuthi indlu yakho i-right kumele sigibele kwi-roof at least once a year si-check ukuthi akho tshani yini obustakile noma amaqabunga astakile kwigata ngoba even if kunomlilo umlilo if kunamaqabunga omile angaqala umlilo uma kuthi kunomlilo ozayo ungenza indlu yakho ingasha. So ulungisa indlu yakho once indlu yakho i-right angeke ama-insurance ayibalekele leyo nto kodwa isikhathi esiningi ukuthi uthola ukuthi abantu bebengazi ukuthi kufanele ukuthi ngigibele ngenze sure ukuthi i-roof yami i-right ngenze sure ukuthi indlu yami ngiyinakekele kuqala before ngiyoclaim.
Okay, John, I will engage you on this particular point in just a moment. Kepha kwanyalo asasive ke imivo ke bathengile etitaladeni ukuthi ke bathini ngale ndzaba.
Nengxaki mna because as funeral policies esizibhatelayo azikanciphiswa because of i-lockdown. I-funerals ngoku kuthiwa 50 people can attend. Kutheni ngoku singanciphisi ne-premium zethu because sibhatala la amanzi siyibhatala kuza abantu abayi-500 apha ekhaya ndifide abantu abayi-500 ngoku ndizawuthini ngoku ndifide i-50 kutheni ndizawubhatala la mali bendiyibhatala before. So laa nto I feel like insurance companies basicingele nathi kaloku si-consumer.
I haven't heard that there's a chance that you can have your insurance, premium reduced. But yeah, I was thinking about it and I was thinking logically under these conditions it should, because one, there's no more a lot of people on the road, which means we're of low risk. I mean, even banks came through to say, look, this situation has affected you badly, and therefore they started reducing things like banking charges and so on. So I think insurance should follow suit as well.
Like, I understand from a business standpoint that, these companies, the insurance companies, are going to lose a lot of money. But given that, we're in an outbreak, it would also make sense that, we lessen the vehicle premiums, but then maybe increase the life policies.
I suggest that insurance companies has to reduce those premiums, because now we are looking at the risk analysis, the risk factor. That is why another thing that I've identified throughout the years is that most of these insurance companies, they hardly disclose the fundamentals as well as other principles that pertain to us as consumers.
I'm not taking any sides ukuthi why i-reduciwe or why kwamele sibhadalile ukukhuphuka. It's because i-risk elifini is not about ukuthi usabhema or usaphuza usekho i-risk. Any accident can happen wherever you are. So when you insure your life, you insure based on mawuphila environment nawuphila uyi-one uphila nabanye abantu. So cars, i-accident bayakuchayisa awuchayisa umuntu.
Alright, siyabonga ke kule mivo ke abantu bathengile sibatfoleke etitaladini ngale ndzaba lena ke. And John Manyike, ngiyathemba ukuthi udivela ukuthi bathina laba bekunene ukuthi ke umbono wakho uthini ke kule ndzaba?
Yeah, uyabona umshwalense ufana nepizza mangasebenzisa leyo example. Ipizza uyakhona ukuthi mina angifuni extra cheese, I don't want a thick base, angifuni i-bacon. So the more izinto uzi-add kuleyo pizza, the more. But you can remove those things and still have pizza. I-life cover, so earlier on I mentioned the two things. I'll add on to that list. Kukhona something ibizwa i-premium protection. Uyakhona ukuthatha i-life cover, mara kuyona ucela ukuthi kube ne-premium protection. Isebenza kanjani? Isho ukuthi in the event of disability, there's no need for ukuthi uqhubeke ukhokha ama-premiums ngoba automatically it kicks in the premium protection, then your premiums are covered. Or alternatively, in the event of death, yes, it will pay out, but then it will mean that for your other family members, abakhavarishwe kuleyo life cover or policy, then they will still enjoy the cover. So you can still remove Leo premium protection. Marama you must understand the implication that you are removing any benefit ebalekile for another. Then of course the kunezinye izinto ezifana nama what we call severe illness. You are conducting life cover. So uthi no ngifuna i-severe illness ukuthi in the event ngathola cancer or any other dread disease ukuthi i-cover it can be a standalone benefit. You don't have to be keeping it there. So you can also remove that and still maintain life cover yakho. Those are some of the ways. That's why it's important to uhlala phansi ne-financial advisor yakho umbuze ukuthi yini esingayisusa lana where I can still maintain life cover yami. I-life mayiqhubeka izinto mazi-improve financially uyakhona ukuthi uzibuyisele lezi ezinye izinto ozisusile njengopizza ukuthi bewungayifuni i-extra cheese bese ungayifaka leyo cheese ke enye i-example lapha. And then khona something ngifuna ukuyi-add lapha for example i-chronic illness. So uyakhona ukuthi mawuthatha i-life cover, of course bazakuthumela for ama-medical testing with underwriting. Kungayenzeka ukuthi une-chronic illness mhlambe njengo mhlambe i-asthma. But then if your condition improve, but then you need a medical report from your doctor confirming that your chronic illness has improved drastically. That can also reduce the cover. But you must understand that if you go subject yourself to such testing, If it turns out that your health condition has deteriorated, your premium can go either way, but you must understand that there are things that you can remove, but then they understand the implications. What will it mean?
Okay, great point you made there, and ndawuthanda ukuthi siyichaze kabanti ke, especially lenzaba yema-dread disease ukuthi ke ingabe umshwarensi wakho ungayihlisa kanjani ke. Bekunene sentivele ukuthi ke insurance cover yakho ungayifananisa ke nepizza, ungakhona ukufaka tibili boco noma kusisa tibili boco tsite, which essentially means that you can actually personalize your insurance cover ukuthi it suit your situation at that particular time. Let's take another commercial break. Asihlangane futhi emva kwaleli khefu. Sakumukela futhi khumbula ukuthi tingcingo tethu solo tivulile ukuthi nawe ungavakalisa umbono wakho. Share ucingo ke on your screens, on the numbers on the screens right now, 0117146918 noma ke 0117146919. Siyatfolakala futhi ku Facebook na ku Twitter. Let's take our first caller. Sina Penny ulapha immediate. Sakumukela ehlelweni Penny. Very good afternoon to you. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Hi, how are you?
What's on your mind, Penny?
Yes. Here I have a situation. My dad has been paying a life cover for the past 20 years. The problem is the premium is going up. He's at 700 now, but the payout is still at 100,000. The initial agreement of the payout was 100,000. It does not move. So I wanted to find out, how is that possible?
Do they give the reasons why the premiums were increasing?
But inflation is about, there's a nawonga magama, except that it's not convincing.
Okay, all right. Penny, thank you so much for your call. We'll pose that question to Zanele from the South African Insurance Association. Now, Zanele, utseke Penny, Babu Wake has been paying life cover premiums for the past 20 years, and ilogo iyanyuga, but the payout amount still remains at 180,000. Why is that?
Simphiwe, I think umuntu ongaphendula lo mbuzo John.
Okay, all right, John, please answer that question.
Let me. So, yabona ku life cover kuna a term cover, and then there's a whole life cover. So, term cover, you know, you are being covered for a specific term. At the end of that term, the cover stops, whereas your whole life, you will be covered, you know, for your whole life, if exactly as it says. However, when it comes to AMA premiums, when you meet your broker or financial advisor, at that point in time, they will look at your affordability. For you to be able to afford your cover, you know, you will have to pay a certain premium. If they find you're not able to pay that premium, they are able to structure the policy in such a way that in the beginning of the policy from inception, you are able to afford it, but it escalates over time to give you enough time to improve your affordability. So it depends on the conversation that took place at the point at which the financial advisor or broker was engaging with a customer. So it may as well be affordability plan in that sense. But on a life cover, even if we tatile, we are broker or financial advisor to make sure that you understand. But sometimes there's too much detail happening policy, and then as into to make sure that we understand the issue policy. I think it's more a case of maybe understanding the product more than anything.
Uthi Penny ke nangimuve kahle ibroker yakhe yatshela babu wakhe ukuthi the reason lama premiums anyuka every now and then is because I mean it's linked to inflation, yet the payout amount remains the same. Nangabe kunjalo ke banyika kusho ukuthi nayo phela le payout amount kumele inyuke.
Yeah, so akhona amapolicy anjalo where I premium iyanyuka ne cover iyanyuka. But it depends on what that's why because we don't know what we don't know, basically it depends on what type of conversation lama solutions are available. Ikhona le evumayo ukuthi I-premium inyuke ne cover inyuke. Ikhona enye ukuthi mhlambe kuyenzeka ukuthi mhlambe anyukayo but I-cover stays the same ngoba it was structured in a way to help customer ukuthi afford lawa premiums. So there are a lot of things that we wouldn't know, but in general, I think most insurers would look at the affordability of a customer at the point of ukuthatha leyo policy.
Look, Shotzi, it's not a blanket approach. It depends on the different types of policies. Lokuthi insurance premium inyuke, yet cover remains the same. Oh, ngiyo le pizza le. Okay, siyabonga kakhulu ke kulelo point lelo. Let's take a next caller sina Irene lapha eDeep Club. Sakumuntu ehleleni sawubona?
Sawubona futhi njani?
Khuluma nathi mama. What's on your mind?
Okay. What's on is a question. Kune a friend that said ubaba yakhe wa join life insurance enama restrictions which if nama chronic conditions angeke bakuthathe. So at the time maka join he was okay. But later in life maka pass on. Bathola ukuthi kuna chronic conditions that were bangamthatha umuntu makanawo before. Now they couldn't pay because of debt. So how is that possible?
Okay, Irene, thank you so much for your call. And I would love to engage both of you, John Nazanele, about this particular issue because we've been seeing it in media in the past few months. Insurance ingasakhoni ukubhadala noma ingasafuni ukubhadala life cover because there's certain conditions that the premium holder or the policy holder did not reveal. Ingabe ke siyidingisa siyithingele Zanele ngicala ngawe.
Simpiwe, I think i-challenge la ukuthi ngiphuma kwi-short term insurance industry sikhava iy'moto nezindlu ne-furniture kanjalo kanjalo. UJohn ukhava i-life ne-funeral uyi-expect lapho. Ngingathatha kodwa as far as short term is concerned kodwa ngicela ukumnika ithuba kuqala.
Okay, John, over to you.
Okay, thank you. So again, there's a question of disclosure, full disclosure. Mawuthatha i-life cover. Are you suffering from any other illness? So when you disclose, for example, okay, as an example, you say, I've got asthma and that's the one I'm aware of. And then you disclose and then you go through medical underwriting. But if at the later point it emerges, no, actually there were other pre-existing conditions which you are aware of that you did not disclose. Leo can result you were aware of a particular condition that you didn't disclose. That's why it's better with multi insurance. It doesn't mean you won't get it covered because you have got a chronic illness. You will get it covered. The only difference is that premium might be different from somebody who is even of the same age and having the same income because you are profiled according to risk as an individual based on your medical condition. So it's always important to abantu disclose. I mean, if you look at most of the complaints, for example, that will be referred to the ombuds, you always find majority of cases are unsuccessful, from customers simply because when it emerges information which a person was aware did not disclose. That is the main reason why you end up having challenges when it comes to our insurance claims.
John, you and I are aware, you can't disclose sifo longasad. I mean, but I'm not actually aware that I've got this particular condition in the duration of the policy from when I took up the policy until death. Insurance, they don't regularly, take up tests. Abang test every now and then to check dread disease now. Is it fair insurance just because I did not disclose a disease that I didn't know about?
Well, the reality, Baba, is that you cannot disclose into ongayazi. So if you did not know, you did not know. And there's no reason, there is no ground for any life insurer to decline a claim your customer when the client was not aware. But in many cases, how insurance discover what you are aware is that when they ask for medical report, back to your doctor. And your doctor looks at your medical records, your medical history, and so that information normally becomes available through the doctors, when it turns out, no, go a consultant for the same condition you should have known, and so on. But otherwise, under normal circumstances, there's no reason why any insurer should not pay a claim when a person was not aware of a particular condition. I think the classic example asebenzise i-COVID as an example. If I die as a result of COVID, who would have known? Exist this disease. Iqale ngaleso sikhathi iqale.
Okay, ngicela ubambe
ngaso
lapho ke
ibuya la
John
ibuya
ngoba
khona.
ngifuna ukuthi sikhulume
So in
kabanti
fact-
ngale ndzaba ye-COVID. Please hold your thought. I want us to discuss it in greater detail after this break. Nyalo ke mbukeli asasibuyela futhi ngasetitolo. Please stay with us. To those who've just joined us, a warm welcome back. We're discussing how you can make a case for lowered insurance premiums when negotiating your insurance policy. My guests today are John Manyike, a financial education expert. We also have Zanele Kigaba from the South African Insurance Association. To take part, please grab that phone and call the numbers on the screens right now, 0117146918 or 0117146919. Now, John, on the issue of the dread disease, I want to engage you a little bit further about coronavirus. Kuse lona umkhuhlane vele lomusha thine la esikhwahlande usifikeleke ngenyanga yendlovu lenkulu ngaMarch. So when I took up that particular insurance policy, there was no coronavirus. So would that be classified under dread disease?
Not necessarily. As I said, firstly, it's a if it's one is contracted with corona, it does not necessarily mean that you would have been aware by the time you are taking policy in corona. So there's no reason why that claim should not be honored.
So nangabe ke umshwalense wami awusafuni ngekubhadala ke i-payout because of non-disclosure as a result of the policyholder not being aware that they have a certain disease. Yini ke i-recourse lebangaba nayo?
So you can approach, firstly, you can approach the compliance officer of that insurance company to state your case. I was not aware of this condition. I do not understand why my claim is not honored. Formally complain and give them say about 14 to 20 business days to address. If it's not addressed, satisfaction yako, you can refer the matter to FAI's ombuds. Who will be able to handle your complaint and assess it independently. But as I said, generally, any disease you are not aware of, there's no reason whatsoever Uguti insurance should not pay that claim. That claim should be honored.
Okay. Now, Zanele, kuna nenzaba ke ye depreciation of i-value yemoto, because it's a known fact ukuthi imoto ke depreciate every single minute. In fact, now we keep nje e-garage noma ke e-dealership noma ke lapho ke uthenga khona, the minute we start le moto i-value ayisevele iyehla already. Kepha ke ama-insurance premiums still remain the same. Kuyangani ukuthi I keep on paying the same insurance premium for a product that depreciates every single day?
Umbuzo obalekile lo Simphiwe. Ngicela uphendula nge two phases. Number one, into enhle yenzeka manje with most insurers ukuthi abakuceli wena for the value of the car. They normally get it from ama database and they update it on a regular basis. But into ebalekile about ama claim ukuthi umuntu mase sebezo replace ibumper yakho noma umnyango wemoto oshayisiwe abayi kothola second hand parts. Bathola brand new parts. That's the challenge. So and ama parts anama prices awo which angekho linked kwimoto. So ngathola ukuthi noma imoto yakho was say a 2015 model, umnyango wemoto yakho ngoba bawusosa this year is at this year's prices. It's not at 2015 prices. That is the challenge because we don't buy imoto kanye nawo wonke ama parts siwagcinela in case kune accident. And that's one important thing that abalaleli fanele bayazi. The second one is risk. Ama risk ayachinja. Uma uba nama more claims, risk yakhe ishintsha, premium obviously izokhuphuka. So those are some of the factors that would impact ukukhuphuka kwe premium yakho.
So kuyenteka vele ukuthi timoto i-value like i-value yemoto inyuke.
Cha, i-value yemoto yona ayinyuki kodwa ama replacement parts i-value yakhona iyakhuphuka. So premium is based on inflation yalama parts akho plus other things.
The reason I'm asking this question, Zanele, ukuthi ukhona ke lwangitshela ukuthi these classic cars, temoto takadzeni of a much higher value, i-value yato iyenyuka yona. Ingabe what's the reasoning that insurance companies apply when it comes to that?
umbuzo onzima lo Simphiwe. Yeah, I think imoto zakudala ezifana ne-art i-art value yakhona kune-sentimental value, maybe ne-proper insured value. Those two things are not the same. It's the same as indlu. Indlu in a market value, which is the value of it. The market value goes up and down depending on the demand, the activity in the market. Whereas the replacement value is brick by brick, how much is going to cost you to replace your house. Normally, the market value is lower than the replacement value. So, kubalulekile kubabukela ukuthi bazi the difference and benze show ukuthi they insure the property based on a replacement value. A replacement value has got an inflationary element, specifically kwizindlu. Kwizimoto is a depreciation, like you said. But I think those needs to be clarified nama experts. Okay. Which value do you insure, especially kwimoto?
All right. Siyabonga kakhulu kulo mbono lo Zanele. Let's take our next caller. Sinanche ula eJoza kumole hlele sawubona. What's on your mind?
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm very well. What's on your mind, man?
My question is to the gentleman that why the insurance, when you start with them, whatever you sign, it doesn't talk about the premium that is going to go up every year. I've been with this company for 25 years. All of a sudden, on the 26th year, they're telling me that the premium must go up. I said, why does the premium on the 25th year goes up? They said, no, it's the contract. I said, but the contract that I've signed, it doesn't say that. That was 25 years ago. You can't tell me now the premium is going up. And it wasn't. I've been paying that 200 rand for 25 years. All of a sudden, I must pay more. So I want to know, where do I go from here? I want to complain. I don't want to leave it like that. I don't have extra money to pay them.
Just for the sake of clarity, what is it that you took up insurance for?
It's a funeral cover.
Funeral cover?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your time. We'll have our guest answer this question after the break. Thank you so much for your call. Let's take our final ad break. Welcome to a very last segment. Gosh, time flies when you're having fun. Namhlanje bekunene sikhuluma ke ngemandla lonawo wekunegotiate insurance premiums ukuthi ehle. Like, did you know that you actually have the power, the bargaining power to negotiate for much lower insurance premium as a result of different circumstances in your life that might have changed? Namhlanje sina John Manyika, financial education expert from Old Mutual. Siphinde sibe na Zanele Kigaba from the South African Insurance Association. Now, John, we had a caller here from right here in Johannesburg. Ukhuluma ke ngema funeral policies. Kuthi ke kuyangani lokuthi ke lama insurance premiums angashinji ngoba yena uthi ke she's been paying insurance premium for the past 25 years with this particular insurer, and baloku bamtshela ukuthi my premiums zakhe ayenyuka. Kuyangani lokho?
Well, I'm happy ukuthi the caller on a policy contract actually indicated lapha ukuthi ayikho into ebhaliwe ku policy contract yakhe ukuthi ama premiums mela akhuphuke. My view is that in such cases there may be good grounds to refer such a matter to the office of the ombuds. I suggest for now, let her write directly to the compliance officer of that particular insurer and then give them at least 20 days to respond. If the matter is not resolved to a satisfaction, I refer it to ombuds, because unless it is limited in writing, I'm happy also with the progress being made by the regulator currently, in terms of ensuring that customers are treated fairly, but there is a need to keep a record of advice, so that what was being discussed at that time. So in that case, I believe there may be grounds for a referral. To why 25 years later, only now the premiums are, unless it was agreed, it was specified, there might be a good reason for her to refer.
So nangabeke uyirefera kubo ombudsman, so ngekubuka kwakho kunemkhonyovu lokhona ekhathi?
It's difficult to say because I haven't seen the contract that she's referring to. But if what she says, Uguti contract, there's no way it specifies the need to increase the premium after 25 years. It does sound a bit odd, but I don't know what was contained in the agreement. But I think it is definitely worth referring
Kunanakule kuthiwa ke i-new normal lele sesiphila kuyo nyalo ngenzaba ye-coronavirus, ngenzaba yema-lockdown, and in particular when it comes to imingcwabo, where fewer people are now allowed to attend. Should I also negotiate for lower premiums because of that?
Well, I think lower premiums means, it talks to e-cover as well. If you want your premium to be lower, the cover may also be reduced. But then I won't be surprised if you have a lot of people who rather want to keep the cover at the same level with lower premiums. I think it's a case of a give and take. What is it that you want to reduce and understand where you are reducing? But I think we must also appreciate the fact, Uguti, we don't know for a fact whether this is going to be here forever or whether it's going to be something that will be managed over time. I mean, we've had other major diseases that were successfully managed, I think, given progress in terms of research and how to contain a particular disease. I think we always need to take a long-term view when it comes to izinto ezifana ne-pandemic. Yes, kuna solutions mele so explore for isikhathi lesi, but we must also be thinking that it doesn't mean izohlala kunjena into the future.
Okay. Now, Zanele, is there perhaps a government-regulated, or rather a government-enforced regulation that younger getting up and insurance should follow for purposes of protecting consumers and policyholders?
Simply, yes. Kune umthetho bathi policyholder protection rules protect ama consumers. Lo mthetho lo upublishwe i-Financial Sector Conduct Authority, and uma i-consumer ingekho happy ngokuphathwa indlela abaphathwe ngayo, ungaya now fanele ufake i-complaint, ungaya ku-ombudsman, ungaya kwi-phase ombud as well, abadila nendaba ze-advice. So kubalulekile uku-understand ukuthi what is in that protection rules. One of the things is i-premium, recording of ama-calls, nokunika advice futhi ku-under phase ikhona. So miningi imithetho protector ama-consumers. There's also one new one which I think is about 5 to 10 years old, which is treating consumers fairly, or customers fairly, TCF. Umthetho wakhona ukuthi nje yonke into from the time u-applyela i-policy to the time u-claim, you are looked after. So lo uwona obalulekile kakhulu osanda ku-implement.
Ingabe of all le mithetho lokukhuluma ngayo, ukhona umthetho lotawuprotecta i-consumer or i-policy holder ye-car insurance policy? Nangabe for instance, asengibekise ngiclaime for 4 times for the past 2 years, and kwa onke lama claims, it's not been my fault. It's the other party who were on the wrong. So insurance, and I do understand, and I'm told by reliable sources within the insurance industry, Gutsi, every time I claim, I become a high profile or a high risk profile.
So akuyona le nto show ngengezwe ukuthi yenzeka, angicabanga ukuthi yenzeka automatically kuwo wonke ama-insurers. Ama-insurers, uma kukuthi akuyona i-fault yakho, ama-insurers ane-opportunity to claim back and recover the losses from the other party. So it's not always ukuthi automatically bazo-increase i-premium ngoba uclaimile, cha akulona iqiniso lokho. Kodwa uma ukuthi uyi-high risk wena, bakubiza nge-multi-claimant, lapho kungenzeka bafake sometimes increase the premium, sometimes kulimitwa i-cover, sometimes bafaka what they call an additional excess to just limit ama-losses abo. Because remember, insurance is normally abantu abaningi abahlangene ndawonye to make sure ukuthi uma ukuthi wena ufana nomasingcwabisane noma ne-stokvel, uma ukuthi wena unenkinga namhlanje kwenzele wena nakusasa kwenzele omunye umuntu. So kubalulekile ukuthi i-risk i-industry izama ukuyi-minimize where kunomuntu oyi-one ongathi there's an abuse of the system. It's really regulating that so that everyone can still enjoy low premiums.
Nangabe nginge-multi-claimant njengoba usho, and in all those cases akusiyo i-fault yami, is a fault of the other party in the wrong. Can you categorically confirm on record ukuthi ama-premiums ami will remain the same ngoba phela akusiyo i-fault yami?
Angikwazi to categorically confirm, Simpiwe, like I said, because ama insurance companies akafani. They all are competitors. So omunye angathi for me angeke ngifake lento as a condition. And what I do know for a fact that I can categorically confirm ukuthi ama-insurance companies have an opportunity to recover those losses. So once those losses have been recovered, there is no need to view you as a risk in those circumstances.
Kunanathi ke timoto lekuthiwa ngema high performance cars labanye ke bathi bita ngema vrpa noma ke timoto letema pipe lang4. Ngiyeva ke kuthiwa ke those attract a much higher insurance premium. Is that true? Is that correct?
I am not aware of that. Ngidriver imoto ordinary futhi. I'm not aware of that. Kukhona izimoto that could attract higher premium because of their own risk as a car. For instance, uthola ukuthi le moto iyantshontshwa kakhulu. So there will be data esho ukuthi le moto on its own is high risk ngoba iyantshontshwa kakhulu. Kufana ne issue le kade ngikhuluma ngayo yabantwana abancane below the age of 25. Normally kune data confirmayo ukuthi labantwana they are high risk. Normally there's too many claims based because of bona. So that would be based on research that the industry has done to say, okay, this is high risk. If there is a possibility ukuthi mhlambe i-overpa labo khuluma ngabo they get abused. If there is that, then there could be a possibility, but it's not a one size fits all. Industry normally does the research and then they decide based on the results. Okay, this is high risk, this is not high risk.
Okay, Zanele ke sengiligoqoda lehlelo angeke ngikuyekele ke ngakawubuthi nangibuto nang lengihlale kunguva ke estradini ukuthi imoto lemnyama kungazi ukuthi ubhadala ipremium lesetulu kundlula imoto lengathi yakhanya noma ke imoto lemhlophe. Kuliciniso lokho Zanele.
Ngengezwa kodwa I can't confirm.
Okay.
Angikwazi uconfirma lokho ukuthi kuyiqiniso.
Okay. All right. Siyabonga kakhulu ke Zanele. John, your closing comments briefly.
Bengifuna ukuthi umuntu makafila i-pressure financially, the first thing to think of should not be to just automatically cancel your insurance. Rather khulumisana ne-broker yakho or financial advisor yakho nibhekisana kuleyo policy with other certain things that can be reduced in order to bring down the cover or even reduce the cover to bring the premium down instead of just cancelling, because all of this is dependent on your age, your current health profile. Ngoba manje you might be younger, healthier. 10, 15 years down from now, your health might deteriorate, and then that might become a challenge where you end up paying a higher premium. Rather reduce instead of cancelling completely. Okay,
John Manyiga, financial education expert from Old Mutual. Now again, Zanele Kigaba from the South African Insurance Association. Thank you so much to you two for joining us. Let me thank my guests for making time to be with us. From Miss Mpio and the rest of the team, Yilungelo Lakho